Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So I thought I'd use a new weapon today. Since I feel Malamar was underperforming a little bit, I figured I'd try out Marowak. Since he certainly seems capable of dishing out some damage, I thought I'd go and use him for a bit. Some of you might be curious why I'm not using the Lightning Rod ability, but Rockhead is more useful for this team because I don't have any electric weaknesses and I want to consistently use Fledlets without receiving any damage in return. A very frightening combination. Let's see if this works out. Welcome. Welcome, Beans. Good to see you again. Alright, I guess we shall continue then. Make my presence globally known. Let's see how we fare today. Last time I'll have to say the team was quite successful, so there's not too much further to go. So my game audio is quiet. Is it quieter than my voice? I can turn it up a little bit if I need to. Does this sound any better? Don't want my audio to be offset, actually. Is it too loud now? I have to find a fine balance. It should be alright now. Just keep me updated. Don't want any audio issues getting in the way of my plans tonight. So this is the team today. Malamar has been axed. Literally axed, that is. And now we have a new murderer on our team. Marowak. So that should suffice. Marowak is very strong. Very well equipped. Forgot last time to put on some dramatic music, so we'll have Rose's theme this time. I think that matches my aesthetic a little bit better, to be honest. Yes, we'll have to see how this goes tonight. I'm honestly surprised as to how well this team is doing so far. Definitely been performing above expectations. Leo. I remember you from Fire Emblem Faith. Or it could be any Leo, to be honest. Polytoad, but Also a Charizard. But also a Lapras. Very strange combination. Unfortunately, getting past that Lapras might prove a little bit troublesome. Maybe my best bet is just to go Gengar Grimmsnarl and efficiently trade with everything. This looks like my best bet. Marowak would be useful, but there are a couple of very big threats to it. I'd love the consistent damage, I just can't rely on it. I think it has to be Aegislash in the back. I think it's my only option. I removed Frake Tears from one of my Pokemon. So that means that Lapras is a little bit hard for my team to break through, but I can match its screens with my own. I have to just see if it's sufficient enough to win. So both of these Pokemon are special attackers. So that means I'll be inclined to just Sludge Bomb and, in fact, set up a light screen. That way I should be taking a little bit less damage from these attacks. And I simply have to stall this Lapras out. Stall it out of step. And I have to try my best here. This might be a tough fight. That was sufficient to knock out that Ninetale. Let's see if I can survive this attack. It depends if the Lapras has boosting item, which it doesn't look like it does. That's ideal, really. Looks like I'm going to just have to do as much damage as I can manage. Best I can do in this current situation. But at least we got rid of the Ninetales very quickly. But isn't that going to set up the rain? That hail didn't last very long. Maybe I'm inclined to, in fact, poison the Lapras. That might be the best use of my time. Attempt to break their spirits. Yeah. I think, however, I'll do it this way around. This way I can reduce the Lapras' attack. I just need to reduce the amount of damage it's dealing to my team. Welcome. I believe you're new to this stream, at least in October. I remember seeing you around, but I haven't seen you for a good while. Is this the water absorb strategy? It doesn't appear to be. Very interesting. I think this opponent forgot their water absorb, in fact, when they surfed themselves there. It's not likely my Grimmsnarl will survive this next attack. I believe I'm going to go for the max darkness and go for a Thunder Wave on the Lapras. It's not likely Grimmsnarl is going to survive past this turn, but I don't need a Reflect, so instead I'll just lower their special defense. And I'll pierce through them later. My Dragon should be more than sufficient to survive an attack from this Lapras. Ah, that's very unfortunate. Politoed survived the attack as well. Both very unfortunate. Might still be able to survive this though. In fact, I did drop step the Lapras quite a bit. Yes, I take that very well. Take that very, very well. Sadly, I missed the Thunder Wave on the Lapras, so there's not much I can do about that at the moment. I know this opponent in fact doesn't have the weakness policy, so I should be able to Sacred Sword this. Although they could switch out to their Urshifu right now. That could be a potential way out of this. Maybe Max Quake is safer in fact. That way I should be able to take anything that this Lapras throws at me. Definitely seems like my best choice. And I should be able to get past the Politoed if it protects them. This should be enough to deal with this Politoed, at the very least. Perfect. All according to plan. Now I need to hope this Lapras isn't slower than my Aegislash, but there's no reason it should be. Ah, they went for the Blizzard, but that doesn't do much damage, I'm afraid. Not with the amount of boost that I have on the field right now. In fact, this Lapras doesn't seem to be much of a threat at all at the moment. The only thing I think I'm really scared of is this Urshifu in the back. I have enough to deal with this Lapras. Oh, it's Raichu! Don't think this opponent has many physical attackers, actually. And then a Max Quake should be more than sufficient for the job. It should be enough to deal with the Frog. Interesting. I honestly wasn't sure if they'd attack into the Aegislash then. This should still be enough to defeat this. And I should be able to take any attack that's thrown at me here. The only thing I need to watch out for is being frozen. But otherwise I should be fine. Should be a nice clean victory. Clean kill, you could say. And I didn't get the double paralysis either. Perfect. Looks like this opponent just couldn't handle the High Dragon. It's just too strong for them. But you put up a good fight. You tried your best. But I'm afraid it wasn't good enough this time, was it? Looks like we have our first victim for tonight. Poor Leo. What a shame. Let's have a look at the Fallen. If I had to theory, it would probably be the middle one. The middle one is the main head, getting more deformed as it evolves further. And then the hands are the new creations of the High Dragon as it leveled up. Very surprised we didn't end up seeing the Urshifu actually. I thought it would have been pretty strong against my team. But it does turn out it was the water version and not the Dark Urshifu. Dark Urshifu is really problematic for my team at times. Yeah, Suelius, you could say maybe the first form is the original head. And the Suelius is in fact the two hands that are on the final form. And then they merge at the end. Ah, Scorching Sands Charizard. Certainly seeing that being useful. Ah, the Focus Blast. I'm surprised they didn't end up using that on me actually. Well, I don't think Focus Blast would have been enough to knock me out. I would have attempted it at the very least. Oh, Lapras was Hydration. So I guess their strategy was to set up the rain and then Thunder Wave would have actually been useless after all on this thing. Because the Lapras would have just healed it off afterwards. But I was unaware of this. Suppose we never got to see. Very interesting. And the Ninetales had the Wise Glasses. Fortunately I knocked it out before it could move. Oh, and the Politoed was seeing some. That's why it did so much to my Grimmsnarl. Did an awful lot of damage to it. Suppose we should continue onwards then. See how many more victims we can rack up tonight. Sadly I haven't had a chance to use this Marowak yet. Sure love an opportunity to try it out though. Ah, very interesting looking team. Kangaskhan. Terrakion. New combinations here. I think Gengar Grimmsnarl might be quite strong here actually. There's a chance they lead into their Trick Room stuff though. Maybe the Gengar Hydreigon will suffice in that case. If that happens, I'm a little bit worried about the Primarina. That might deal some damage to me. I think I'm going to bring the Grimmsnarl instead. Aegislash is really good against parts of this team. Might have to put Marowak on the bench again, I'm afraid. Fortunately, this is not the right time for it. the time will come eventually where I can put the bow into action. Use it on a couple of unsuspecting teams. Oh, this is an interesting lead. See if the reflect is sufficient enough to deal with it. Yes, the customization does look rather nice. I do agree with you. Hopefully I can take anything they end up throwing at me with this reflect. Hopefully it's enough to deal with this. Ah, decent strategy. Let's see how you like this. Looks like it was more than enough to deal with the track. Perfect. That's one of the main threats gone, in fact. And I also have my terrain up, so I need to be careful not to use Thunder Wave in this terrain against any grounded Pokemon. Because if I do, then they won't get paralyzed due to the terrain I've just set up. That's one of the main threats to my team gone. I'm very happy with that. Try and set up this reflect. Hopefully that'll allow Gengar to survive some attacks. That will come my way. But I don't think Kangaskhan is the threat too much here. Just need to focus on this little rocked creature. What was that? Did my internet just disconnect? Not sure what just happened there. Xenoblade's internet connection doesn't seem to be very good at the moment. I think it just kicked me offline. How unfortunate. I think I had that victim there. I guess that's one way to run away from your inevitable deniers. Just cut the connection. Let's see what happened there. Did we lose any points for that? Doesn't appear that we did. Maybe it was the servers after all. Did seem rather strange. Definitely think we had that match then. That didn't happen. It's a shame. A real shame. But regardless, we'll keep going. We'll see how much further this team can go. Curious myself what it can do. An interesting looking team. Once again, Gengar looks incredibly strong on this. But at the same time, I think that I might want to bring Marowak as well. Maybe I'll go for the same strategy again. I'm a little bit worried about the Dracovish over there. Cause some problems for my team. Maybe I'll lead like this instead. Switch the Marowak in later. And then, have some way to deal with the rest of the team. I think Gengar might be my best bet if I ever do go out of Trick Room, or if I don't get to set it up. Gengar does look good against a bunch of these. So I guess we'll bring Gengar. And even if it does end up in Trick Room, at least I have my Focus Sash to protect myself. Ah, that's one way of dealing with that. Ah. I believe this is water, I should be right. Oh, it's dark. Sometimes I just struggle to tell the difference. This might be problematic though. In fact, I might try this instead. Going to try and Trick Room, but there's a chance this won't work, so I guess instead I could go for the Pain Split over here and try to recover my health. Ah, that's quite interesting. I'm sure they'll make a sound effect when I beat them as well. Let's finish them off. Sadly, there's not much I can do about this. This might be enough to defeat me, in fact. Strong combination. Too strong for this Dusclops, in fact. Let's see if this is enough to do with the session. Still not enough, but that's fine. Doesn't need to be enough right now. Can always deal with it later. I suppose I should hope that he doesn't have some way to get through me right now. Like a protect of some kind, or maybe a Sucker Punch. I think it might be safe to go for the Spirit Break here and protect. Bide my time and wait for later. But if they go for Wicked Blow, that won't work, so I suppose I can't do that. Guess this is the only way I can get through. And if we have Sucker Punch, then I suppose I'm in trouble. This could be a problematic game. Fortunately, they led enough for my Dusclops. Maybe I just need to bear that in mind when I'm playing. Maybe I just need to beat around this Dusclops. I don't think they Sucker Punch me right now. Ah, thank goodness. This might give me a little bit of an opening. Might be able to attack them from here and go on the offense. Thankfully they didn't have Sucker Punch, so I got that right. Ah, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. I'm afraid I'm currently battling online at the moment, so no viewer battles. Ah, Dracovish. I believe I should be able to efficiently deal with this. With the Thunder Wave, I'll be able to lower its stats. Hopefully the max Starfall will be enough to get rid of it. perfect. It's landed, so that should slow the Dracofish down, and then hopefully this is enough to deal with it. I guess we'll have to find out. Yes, it's more than enough. Perfect. Tricky combination to deal with. Let's hope I can survive this. Took that more than easily enough. I should be able to take 2 of those, in fact. Still have enough health. And I believe this is also their last turn of Dynamax. That said, I do need to be careful of this. I believe this thing can use something called Decorate. If it manages to do that, it might be able to have an edge on me here. Fortunately, if they're Focus Sash, there's not much I can do about that. Well, they might live my attack anyway, actually. This might be a lost cause if this ends up being a Decorate set, and they also end up taking them. Don't think I have much counterplay for that. But thankfully they're not. Definitely needed that. I'm unsure if the critical hit mattered, but all that matters is that I murdered that delicious Pokemon. And definitely should be able to take that Freeze Dry. Should be able to have this one. Lapras is quite popular, yes. It had a very strong Gigantamax form given to it, which a lot of people are using. Yes, it's quite strong. Quite strong. Sludge Bomb, I believe, is my strongest attack, so it should hopefully be enough to deal with them. And Gengar even survived that, and disabled the move. Very interesting. Marek once again wasn't even needed for this fight. Both of these Pokemon should be able to clean up now. Very efficient killers, these two. Definitely very strong, very scary. Magic Whip. It's a very strange fairy. Very mysterious. Well, I can't tell if this is a bot. It's more than likely a bot, actually. I believe this account's only just been created. Well, if you're going to say that, at least write the bot correctly. I guess this will prove whether they are in fact a bot or not. You could say that indeed. I believe they left as soon as they posted that, though. Ah, I believe we're reaching the Ultra Ball tier now. I think this is where things are going to get interesting. We're almost there now. I can taste it. So close to Master Ball rank. No. I believe just like High Dragon, both forms have combined into one singular, greater form. And I get rewarded for my efforts as well. I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone from the server actually come over here. Really surprised we don't have some company right now. I'm about later than usual. Ah, this is a very standard looking team. Very standard indeed. Against teams like this, I feel like Gengar High Dragon might be my best way through this. They can't exactly lead Dusclops to it. The only thing they can really do is try to set up a tailwind on me. But that shouldn't be sufficient enough to deal with me. Very unfortunate. Maybe it's time I gave them a visit myself. I think the Aegislash might be correct here. Marowak's a little bit too slow for my liking. Guess the best defense in this case is a good offense. No point in playing defensively against this sort of powerhouse team. This is some of the strongest stuff you're going to see, in fact. Oh, that's an interesting combination. I wonder if this combination will be strong enough to deal with this. Or if I'll in fact have to go for the Draco Meteor. No, I think in this case, I've always wanted Marowak, but a lot of the teams seem like they've been quite aggressive versus Marowak. But as you've seen, the rest of the team have been more than sufficient at dealing with it. But I think for those other matchups that are a little more tricky, for the current team, I think Marowak will do just fine there. I'm a little bit scared of the Amoonguss going for the Protect here, but I don't exactly have much counterplay for that. Ah, perfect. This should be enough to deal with the threat. I wonder if Dark Pulse would have been enough. I think it actually might have been enough. But this will definitely confirm. Get rid of the pesky Amoonguss. Yes, that's good enough for now. I wonder if they're going to just attack the High Dragon. It looks like they are in this case. That's fine. I think in fact you'd call that overkill. I think High Dragon just got removed from the Pokédex, that attack was so strong. Please bring out your Urshifu right now. Yes, this is what I wanted to see. lure them into a false sense of security, and then strike when the time is right. That's exactly what I wanted to do to my opponent right here. Ah, but they have the Sucker Punch. Oh, that's actually quite dangerous. I didn't see that coming. Very strong choice. Yes, unfortunately they have the Sucker Punch. This means this might end up being a lost cause. But sometimes they don't carry it. Maybe the correct play is to protect on that, but even then, it would have been tricky. See what the last one is, shall we? It's a Dustclops. Don't think there's any reason for it to have Shadow Sneak, but I don't believe they can Trick Room here, in fact. I think my Grimmsnarl will be slower than them if they Trick Room. So instead I'm going to max guard on there. And use this turn to scout out if they are in fact a ally switch that. If they Trick Room, then that means my Aegislash will be faster than the Prim. I should be able to claim victory there. So I think max guard is my best bet. Let's see how they react to it. Ah, as expected. But now you've revealed your tricks. Looks like you were going to ignore the threat as well. Very unusual. So I believe we're at a 50-50 again. What's my opponent going to do? Will we go for the ally switch, or will we just stay put? A very interesting dilemma. I'm not sure what my opponent's going to do right here, to be honest with you. But I have to make the right call. You could also potentially protect. Yes, I could definitely see them protecting on this as well. I think this might be my best call. If I manage to remove the Dustclops from the equation, might be able to beat this opponent straight away. Looks like I can beat it after all. This could be a long end game though. Let's see if I have enough health to actually beat this thing. I think with the Shadow Sneak I might be able to secure this, but it's going to be a long and drawn out fight at the end, I'm afraid, to claim victory here. Especially if they have the move Protect on them. See if I have enough in me to take 2 of these Hyper Voices. Although if they have the Hydro Cannon, I might actually be in trouble. Looks like they might have to Hydro Cannon me, in fact. I think they might be Assault Vest, but I am worried about the Hydro Cannon. If they have Hydro Cannon, they'll show it here. Ah, they do in fact have it. Oh, this is tricky. In this situation, the Shadow Sneak might be correct, but I'm not sure if it'll be enough to knock out. At the same time, I don't know if I can even take the Hydro Cannon in this range because it's such a strong attack. This is a very difficult decision. I have to go for the Iron Head or the Shadow Sneak. I'm unsure. I think the Shadow Sneak might be correct. I don't think I'm living the Hydro Cannon anyway, and I think this gives me the best chance to knock it out. I'm honestly not sure if this is going to knock it out, but it's going to be very close. This is going to be a very close game. Oh no. Oh no! Looks like I managed to luck my way out of this one with my evasive blade. Yeah, I'll be a bit upset over that one as well. It looked like you had the win there. That was interesting because I think I might have actually got a bad roll on that. But it definitely feels unlucky for my opponent there. Let's have a look at how he's trained. He was indeed a max special attack prim. I believe that would have knocked out my Aegislash if it hit me in shield form. So it was always correct to go for the Shadow Sneak there. And go for the Iron Head Shadow Sneak combo to try and knock it out. Either way, after that game, I think I'm going to go for a short break. Go and tidy myself up a bit. Hopefully we can get more people, maybe. Gonna look around the Discord a little bit and see if people are active. See how much further we managed to get though on this ladder. See if we managed to climb a little bit. Looks like we're midway through the Ultra Beer World Tier, doesn't it? Got very lucky in that last match. I'll certainly take luck on my side, if it means I can get my victims. But yes, I'm going to go on a short break. Be back very shortly. Alright, just readjusting the mask. Yeah, sometimes you have to take this mask off when you need to clean up the victim's blood from it. Don't want it getting too messy, do you? That's for sure. Alright, how are we all? Are we all ready for some more bloody battle spot? Battle stadium, more like. I think these last few matches might be a little bit messy, so I made sure I'm well prepared. Sorry I took a while there, I had a little something to deal with, but should be all good to go now. Yes. Yeah, it is a little bit messy. Perfect. And let's go back on this killing spree, shall we? Give the entire ladder a whole appointment. This dark ghost team. Exactly what I'm after. Alright. Alex is our next victim. Oh, is that a bear tick? I hear that's actually Xenoblade Hero's favourite Pokemon. He always has a bear tick around with him in his party. Very interesting team choice. I wonder how we're going to deal with this problem. Marowak might be the right way around this one, actually. But then again, they do have a Gastrodon, and that is quite slow. Maybe we go back to the old Gengar over here. I think that might be the best way of tackling this one. Just have a way to efficiently deal with the threats on the team. We have 3 water types though. I feel like Aegislash might be one of the more efficient ways of dealing with this. Unfortunately, it looks like Marowak's going to be back on the bench again. It's fine. Oh, I wouldn't recommend doing that, my friend. You might get your hand trapped. And then a murderer like me might peer out of the side and get you in the back. Ah, so that's a Clefable. Should have more than enough tools to deal with this. Yeah, Slide Screen should be able to boost my special defense quite significantly. So I can deal with the rest of the threats on the field. Yeah. Beautiful form, this Gengar. Very efficient tool to cause mass destruction. I believe this is going to be the Lapras, as usual. Lapras has a very strong Gigantamax form. But Light Screen should be more than sufficient to stop a lot of this damage. The Protect won't save you. I'm afraid my attack will still go through that. And it will do enough to put you in range of my next attack. So I don't think that was the best call, I'm afraid. I don't think this was going to knock you out anyway, but now it definitely will. Yes, Lapras is awfully popular. And they always click the G-Max Resonance because its effect is so strong. The effect of this is why it's used so much. It raises both their defense and special defense at the same time. Now because they protected, I believe it's time to double up on this thing. It's funny because Lapras used to be quite unconventional on teams, but they started getting picked up as soon as it got a really strong Gigantamax form. Don't think the switch out's going to help you too much though, my friend. Lapras, or your Gastrodon's still going to take a lot of damage from that. Might have looked smart, but I don't think it's going to get you very far. Ah, I believe you messed up, my friend. You see, you can't use that attack if you switch in your Gastrodon. And even though you boosted the attack of it, this will reduce that attack back down. Make it very insufficient. I'm afraid you messed up there, my friend. You're going to suffer some grave consequences for it. Should still be able to take this. Especially since I have boosted my special defense quite significantly. I'm surprised Politoed managed to take that though. That was quite a strong attack. There we go. Did think I could take that actually. Looks like I was correct. I think I might go for the Protect here. Stall out some of the... Maybe go for the Spirit Break on my Politoed. Maybe Lapras is correct. I mean, they might end up protecting their Politoed here. Not sure how they're going to play this. No, I think I will attack the Politoed. Just protect and stall out this turn and see how they react to it. Ah, do you have Water Absorb? That's why you're going for the Surf. No, I believe that is doing damage to you as well. That's fine. That should be sufficient in dealing with the Politoed. Ah, they did double up. Interesting that they keep doing that. Ignoring my Gengar again. Very interesting. I think this Clefable is going to protect. But if it doesn't, I should still do some decent damage to it. And I always have an Aegislash in the back. If this isn't enough to deal with it. Yes, I did think you were going to do that. You did that before. I'm afraid you're playing in patterns. This might even be enough to knock you out. Let's see if this is enough. Perfect. Looks like I predicted you there, my friend. I'm afraid your veil is just worn out as well. So I'm going to be able to sink that blade into you. fact, if the Clefable is faster, I might be inclined to, in fact, paralyze it here. If I paralyze it, then that means my Grimmsnarl should survive. I think this is the correct choice. Even if I manage to hit a Spirit Break, I believe Gastrodon's going to knock me out regardless. So. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Moonblast, because I believe that was guaranteed in the Grimmsnarl. Or maybe they predicted this play. That's so well done. He called that quite nicely. It was the correct call after all, because I did knock you out. This should definitely more than knock me out. I think Hydreigon should be efficient in dealing with this now. Not sure how you're going to get out of this one. It was nice knowing you, Alex, but I think your time is up. This is the end for you, my friend. Looks like I'm the victor this time. Well, I have to say, I've had a lot of victims tonight. Certainly been pretty bloody. Let's have a look at their team, actually. Wow, the Clefable was unaware, so it did ignore my stat changes. I'm actually surprised they switched out. With unaware, they would have actually been able to take my Sludge Bomb quite easily, or my Max Ooze. Shouldn't have been able to survive it. Damp Rock. A very supportive moveset. Another Helping Hand. This person sure likes their Helping Hands, don't they? Seem to get a lot of support from others. Multiple Helping Hands there. Beartic. Definitely one of my favourites. Or Xenoblade Heroes' favourite, should I say. And that's a Gastrodon. Although many of these don't have a Dynamax level other than Lapras. This kind of had a very one-track mind. Always wanting to lead and Dynamax with that Lapras of theirs. I think one more match should be sufficient in getting to Master Ball tier. Perfect. Guess we're almost there. Let's see how far we can take this team then. I honestly didn't expect to reach Master Ball so soon, but looks like we're almost there. This could be our last match actually, unless I want to play some more of the Master Ball tier. Which I might. I might dabble with some much stronger competition. See how that goes. Ricardo. Interesting. Ah, you bought the Riolu. Well, I know what Riolu does. So, for those of you who aren't enlightened, Riolu is capable of a move called, or using a move called Coaching. And what this does is it raises the attack on special attack of whatever's targeted by it. Riolu has Prankster, which means it can have priority on that move as well. In fact, I believe it has priority over Redirection, because Coaching already has the priority, so it's a very effective move. Oh no, in fact it raises the attack and defense, I should say. Yeah, it's quite potent. I think Hydreigon might be correct here. In fact, you might even be Marowak this game. Guess we finally get a chance to use it. Yes, I think it's time. I think Marowak is correct here, finally. Marowak deals sufficient damage to everything in the team. Guess this is what you've all been waiting for, seeing the Marowak in action. But I think they're going to lead Riolu on me, which I am a bit frightened of. Ah, not this time. Maybe I should have led with Dusclops after all. I guess all I can do is switch back here. So I guess this is the best I can do. I need to preserve my High Dragon Fillet. Scope lens. It's very in flavour. That's for sure. Focus energy, eh? Oh, you a sniper focus energy build? Very cool. Very unique. See if that's enough to knock out my Dusclops there. See what you have in the bag. So I believe I can Dynamax here actually. Or at least use this Dazzling Gleam and then switch in my Marowak later. If I click Trick Room, then I should be able to outspeed this Inteleon with all my Pokemon. Which will make the setup quite inefficient. Oh, it's a shame that... Remember Lefty? It's a shame that he isn't here for this. I think he'd want to see this in action myself. Sniper Inteleon's actually going to get a critical hit snipe on me, I think. I think we call this a no-scope. In your turn. Very strong. Didn't expect that to be so strong myself, actually. Oh, and Clefable even survived. That's very unfortunate. Honestly, didn't expect that to survive. It's very unfortunate. This might not be the last game, in fact. Looks like I really should have led Dusclops on this after all. I was a little too slow in dealing with the focus energy there. And Sludge Bomb was also correct here. I think this is the lost cause, I'm afraid. I don't see a way past this Inteleon. If it's able to knock out my Dusclops, it should be able to knock out everything else in my team. Unless I somehow survive, but I believe Inteleon has a couple of tricks up its sleeve. I could try something fancy here. Could try to do this. Dazzling Gleam and then Dynamax Protect. Should be able to stall out a turn of Inteleon's Dynamax if I do. Don't think a critical hit's guaranteed though. Maybe I should just play this out. There's a chance they don't get the critical hits at all. A couple of things that can go wrong for them. There's a chance they might even attack the Gengar if they wanted to. Guess we'll have to see what happens. They do have the max Hailstorm as I feared. Hopefully this isn't a critical hit, but it looks like they got 2 critical hits in a row. That's very unlucky. I believe it's not guaranteed either. So they got the double 50% on me. Nothing I can do about that if we get lucky enough. I think that's Crafty's Assault Vest as well. No, it's not even. Just manages to take it. He also has the weakness policy. I think I have to survive that. I have to survive that and then knock out the Inteleon. Don't believe there was another way around that. Looks like Marowak was the incorrect bring here. Aegislash might have been able to confirm on the Inteleon if I actually did manage to hit it. But I believe all I'm going to be here is just a sniping target. So if you ever end up in a fight against a serial killer, I'd highly recommend bringing a sniper rifle. You might be able to catch them off guard. Pretty amazed he landed every single critical hit there. It's 3 critical hits in a row. That last one was gravy. It didn't actually matter, but still rather interesting. I definitely needed to lead Dusclops on that. Certainly an entity displeased there. I would agree with you. But oh well. It does mean we get to face some more victims in the time we have. I believe this is a Frost Breath with a Tauros. I remember seeing this one before actually. I know how this works. Well, I don't know if I have the tools to deal with it. Maybe I need to do the same thing again. And hope that somehow I can take their attacks. Yeah, I suppose that's the best I can do in this situation. This might be a difficult matchup again though, from what I can see. Well, I'm pretty sure that Tauros does not have a way to defeat my Gengar. That might be helpful. Yes, I did think they would beat this. So I believe this opponent's going to use Frost Breath on themselves and activate their Anger Point ability. And Tauros has Assault there. It's good to know. So I can temporarily put a halt to their plans by using Thunder Wave on the Frostlass. This will mean that the Tauros cannot immediately attack. And it should give me enough time to set up my Trick Room. And then I need them to knock something out, and then I should be alright. But this Thunder Wave does need to hit. I remember this strategy being quite prevalent in the past, actually. Yeah, so at one point this was a very popular strategy. Let's hope this puts a stop in their plans. Thankfully it does. At least for this turn. Oh, they actually targeted the Grimmsnarl. Very interesting. Oh, that's definitely going to put a halt in my plans. With the taunt, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to deal with this. I don't think there's much I can do about this strategy. I suppose that's one way to stop it. That makes sense. On the ally switch as well. At least I should be able to stall out this Dynamax. That should help me a little bit. Well, I don't think I actually wanted to survive that, in fact. I think I wanted to be knocked out by that. I believe they're going to ally switch again. But if they do, it means they don't set off their anger point just yet, and I still have their Dynamax. So it's not the end of the world. So stalling out their Dynamax is quite nice. Should be able to take this well enough. So ally switch, Taunt, Ice Shard, Frost Breath. Interesting choices. The question is what the choice of move here is going to be. If they're going to go for the Frost Breath this turn, I should in fact King's Shield on this and try to set up again. But if they go for the ally switch, then I guess I can just do the same thing, right? If they go for the ally switch, and the Sacred Sword's correct, because I get my Trick Room up guaranteed. I'm not sure if they're going to go for the Taunt again, though. I suppose Marak might be able to clean up the entire team by itself. In fact, I should be able to take this, because they're paralyzed, aren't they? And this is slower now, so it's not very effective. And I believe Sacred Sword as well ignores stat changes, so this should pierce straight through those defenses, as you can see. And now Frostlass is, I believe, dead weight. As I set up my Trick Room. Perfect. Now I just need to Pain Split and get my health back up, to then eventually be able to Shadow Sneak my own Aegis Slash and deal some sufficient damage to them. I think this is the best way of going about it. Should make me nice and healthy for my next attack. Afraid I'm not going to give that to you that easily. I think it's time for the final act. Yeah, so there should be enough to do with the rest of your team. I think the only play they can do here is ally switch. I think I'm going to choose to play for it. Yes, I think this opponent is going to ally switch me right here. Frost Breath doesn't do much, and I've already taunted my Dust Clock. I think it's the only thing they have left up their sleeve. Even clicking ally switch here every single time. Ah, they didn't click it. Very surprised by that choice. Honestly expected them to do that. Suppose there's a chance I might get knocked out here then. It's unfortunate. Oh, they would have been fully paralyzed anyway. They might not have gotten to do that anyway. I suppose that makes this play completely safe then. Because if they do get their ally switch off then I can still knock out the Frostlass first. I suspect they're going to ally switch this time. Still not. Very surprising. I suppose it doesn't matter though. Frostlass isn't a threat to me right now. I know it doesn't really have any attacking moves to use. Should be more than enough to knock this Polytoad out. And that wouldn't do much damage to me anyway. To me, I'm afraid. Now I just keep ignoring Frostlass. Doing as much damage as I can in as short a time frame as possible. I'm afraid you're a little late on that, my friend. It's not going to do much to me. This covers that move, I'm afraid. It's like your worst fears have been realized. I think it's over for you. Very clean victory. The sharpest blade. I believe we're almost there. I think we only need one more victory and that'll be enough. Yeah, so at this point, one more victory will hopefully make us climb to Master Rank. Let's do our best. Bring my sharpest weapon with me. Bring the right tools for the job. So how are we all today? On this fine Tuesday. I hope you're all well. Wow, that's surprising. Over here it's not so cold. Or so warm, should I say. Kind of average. So it's not very interesting. Against this team, I think Gengar High Dragon should be sufficient in dealing with these. Expect to see Primarina brought to this as well. So I think Aegislash will be good for that. Just wondering whether I bring the Marowak or the Grimmsnarl. I'm going to try and give Marowak another chance, I think. The Grimmsnarl might be correct for the Prim. It is quite difficult for my team to deal with after all. I certainly feel like today's been a showcase of the strong water types we've been up against. I guess death by drowning is a very efficient method. Interesting. I think the best thing I can do on this is max use and in fact protect. Then I should be able to stall out whatever the Ninetales has got in store for me. And check if it indeed has a focus sash. This should also increase my high dragon stats as well. Its max use raises both Pokemon special attacks. So I'm just going to protect and be patient with this one. Bide my time. Looks like you did have the Focus Sash item. I feel like that was the correct choice. Looks like it definitely was the correct choice to do that. This shouldn't be enough to knock me out. It does do a fair chunk of damage though. Ah, it has the Life Orb item. Interesting. This should be enough to deal with them there. I think the only way out of that is if the Rotom goes for an ally switch or something tricky. Well, if he Dynamaxed, maybe the Draco Meteor was the correct choice. Yes, maybe I should have gone for the Draco Meteor here. But I'm surprised he Dynamaxed after losing some of that health with that. Ah, the Max Guard. I think that gives me more time to raise my stats a little bit. Don't mind that play so much. I'm surprised he Dynamaxed actually. I think maybe they should have held off on that Dynamax before protecting. I don't think I was ever targeting the Rotom with my max use there. I think that might have been an inefficient play on their end. Guess we'll see what they have in the back for us. It's a very efficient death machine. I don't think Snorlax will be enough to save them though. Let's see if this is efficient to deal with them. Let's see how strong true terror actually is. Almost enough. It's sadly just short. That's not a problem. I should be able to confirm it. On a body slam. Thankfully I wasn't paralyzed from that encounter. That dragon's still healthy for another attack. Don't think you've got many tricks left up your sleeve, my friend. I think this might be the end for you. See if you can handle this frightful combination of attack. Doesn't look like you can. I think whatever this Gengar does here, or this Snorlax does, should be able to deal with it. In fact, I flinched them as well. I guess they were scared of these two Pokemon that they were facing. So scared that they just couldn't move. just couldn't bring themselves to attack me. I think that's a fitting end to my run. Making the opponent flinch in terror. And my terrifying combination on the Battle Stadium doubles ladder. You say you just wanted to eat, but I'm afraid that they actually body slammed me, so I'm inclined to believe that they're only aggressive and not very friendly. Let's see if that was enough. Let's see if I've managed to do this. Looks like the scariest team made it after all. I believe we made it to Master Rank. Looks like this team was efficient enough for the job. But for curiosity's sake, let's see what the Master tier is like. Let's see if this truly terrifying team is able to hold up against the best in the world. That'd be some truly delicious play area right there. Ah, Nando. I certainly wouldn't mind a cheeky Nando's myself right now. This is a very interesting looking team. Certainly got a lot of interesting choices. Woodley Dustclops, but I'm actually a little bit scared of that Butterfree. I mean, I should say that. I think I might lead Gengar Dustclops actually. That way I should be able to guarantee my Trick Room, and if they indeed do bring the Butterfree, I can attack it with a furious combination of my own attack. That should be enough to knock it out. Suppose I should bring the Marowak. But I'm not sure what else I should bring in the back. I like Hydreigon might be decent. Aegislash is perhaps better. Yeah. I think it will be Aegislash this time. Let's see how this holds up against the best of the best. I could really demolish the Nandos right now though. Eat some meat. Ah, an interesting combination. One that I'm equipped to deal with. Ah, it's a Steel type. I wonder if this opponent's going to taunt me. I think there's a chance they do. Suppose if they do, I'll be more than prepared for it. If they taunt me, I'm going to try this. This way. If they get their taunt off, I still manage to knock out their main form of speed control. And then Gengar should be faster than the rest of their team. I think they're going to set up a Tailwind in front of the Dusclops here. Ah, I did guess correctly, yeah. Looks like I called you, my friend. Afraid I get the better of you this time. There's no chance you'd leave this on the Dustclop. And click the Tailwind, would you? Because I believe we're in Master Ball tier. And you're thinking pretty hard about what you're going to do next. Oh, you're going for the snarl. Let's see if I can catch you out if you do that again. Please kick snarl again, my friend. Hopefully you'll fall right into my trap this time. Guess we'll have to see if you fall for this one, won't we? Is that going to be an oversized bear? Or are you in fact Dynamaxing the Soul Valley? I believe it's a bear this time. Very interesting. See how you handle this one. If in fact you did click the snarl again. I think if you click snarl it might not end too well for you. Ah, they did. I'm afraid I was ready for you this time. You're going to see why. I have a weakness policy for that. And now my stats get increased. Ah, the Max Phantasm. I'm not sure what moves that's from, but this seemed like a good call. Interesting call, but a good one, nonetheless. But now I've opened the pathway for something else. I believe I can use my Dusclops now. Oh, Laffy, I believe you missed something you might have enjoyed. There was a person earlier who, in fact, was using Sniper Inteleon, and they managed to headshot me out of a victory. I'll have to go and put it on the highlight for you. So let's see if you have the ability to get past this. I think Dusclops should be able to live a combination. Should be able to live a Max Phantasm. Welcome, Val. Welcome. Yes, I did think I'd be able to live that one. And now I believe I get my Trick Room up as well. Should be enough to deal with you then. Suppose all I need to do now is just stay alive. Deal as much damage to the Beware as possible. Which I should be able to do. Alternatively I could do with the Silver Valley, but I think there's a chance he might protect. So I think I'm going to do this instead. Marowak should be more than sufficient in dealing with everything in the back. See how much this does to you. Did take that quite well, I have to admit. But I believe I still have enough health in me to survive that. My Aegislash shouldn't be knocked out immediately. Should be able to take the snarl. And with that, my Marowak comes in the back. It should be able to deal with everything quite well. Let's see. Might have to look at what potential plays they might make against me. They do in fact have a Pelipper in the back. That might be able to set up some rain, which is problematic for my Flare Blitz. I think this is the best play I can make. Should be guaranteed to knock out both of them. Yes, I think this is the best play I can make. Looks like that's enough to deal with the Silver Valley. And this should be able to knock you out as well. Perfect. Guess it depends now what your Pokemon is in the back, doesn't it? There should be. I believe this is the Water Urshifu actually, so I can't say I'm very scared of it. Swift combination of attacks. My blade should be able to deal with the threat. Looks like finally Marowak's coming in useful. Let's see this new animation then, shall we? Very frightening. Finally my blade to land the final blow. Looks like this team does still hold up at Master Rank as well. Very surprising. Let's have a look at their combinations. Ah, Brick Break. Guess that's for breaking through dual screens, like Light Screen and Reflect. So far they have the Steel Beam. Very powerful move. So he gets access to that. Very good that I managed to call the taunt on turn 1. Definitely helped me later. That was the Shadow Claw. A very unconventional choice, but certainly was enough to deal with my Dusclops, so not a bad choice. Very surprised I didn't see this Butterfree. I was definitely afraid of the Sleep Powder. And the Pelipper too. One of them were already bought to me. Let's see whereabouts we are on the ladder right now. See where our rank is. I think if we attempt one more match, might have to see if I make it to top 1,000. Which I'm going to be honest, I will be very surprised with this team, but I'll happily take that. After all, I am quite new to the blood sport that's called Pokemon. Yes, it does look quite nice. I'd certainly say it's one of the few green Pokemon that actually look nice. Yeah. Ah, this opponent's quite highly rated. It's like quite a frightening combination. Definitely haven't seen the Durant yet, but I know it can be quite strong versus me. Definitely have to be careful of that one. Trick Room might be strong, but setting it up might be quite difficult, since they also have a Gothitelle. Well, I do have a lot of Ghost types. Maybe they wouldn't be inclined to bring it, because I can switch out of that Shadow attack with my Ghost type. Do have to be worried about that Urshifu though. I think this is the correct combination this time. Bring the Marowak and then it's a question of what I want to bring in the back. I think Aegislash might be decent, actually. Yes, I think Aegislash is correct, but it's a difficult choice. Hydreigon's threatened by almost everything on their team. And even if I do manage to get it up in Trick Room, it'll either be outsped by the Durant or undersped by the Prim, so it has a very difficult time managing to set up. I think I'm going to leave it out of this one. Ah, they did bring the Gothitelle, in fact. Very surprised by that choice. And your Choice Banded as well. Your Dark type too. There's a chance to go for the Sucker Punch on me here, which might be dangerous, but Dazzling Gleam manages to surpass a lot of things it could potentially do here. I'd have to try for the Trick Room. Maybe I'll just go for the free damage. Does look pretty appetizing. Guess we should go for the damage instead. See what happens. Ah. Guess they didn't see that one coming. Dazzling Gleam. More than enough to deal with this, should be. Looks like they were caught off guard there, weren't they? Managed to catch a top 500 player off guard with my tactics. That feels pretty nice. Let's see if you have the ally switch up your sleeve. I don't think I can. Actually, no, I can Trick Room. And if I do this, then they click ally switch, and we'll be able to avoid them. Be able to avoid that taunt. Rock Slide. Suppose they're trying to flinch me. Looks like you can't do that for very long, though, my friend. I'll get set up my Trick Room for my dangerous threats in the back. Ah, it was Primarina in the back. That's fine. Dealt with worse. In fact, I think I might be able to Pain Split on this and pull your health down a fair amount. Very surprised I didn't Dynamax there, actually. If I survive this, it's not too bad. Get to switch into my threats in the back. Okay. Maybe I want to be knocked out. It's completely fine. Because now I have this combination available to me. Let's see if your water type moves can get through the max flare. Because if you Dynamax, then I can actually set up the sun on you. And your moves will be significantly weaker. Finally, we get to see the Marowak in action. Took a while, but got there in the end. Going to match me as well. Even if you match me, this should be able to negate the amount of damage you do. The thing they're only out here is if they're actually slower than me. I wouldn't expect that. See how much this does. This should be able to knock out the bravery. More than sufficient. Don't think the critical hit even mattered. But the most important part is that I get the sun up. Means if we go for the max guys, I should be able to take it more than comfortably. Perfect. Even through the critical hit, I managed to survive it because I set up the sun. Even with good luck on their side, still had enough to deal with them. Now nothing can stop me from achieving my end goal. Should be able to deal with this more than efficiently. Pull up a good fight, but I'm afraid it wasn't enough this time. Have the tools to deal with you. Tools for the job. The sharp blade and a big stick. And we certainly got use out of Marowak there in the end. But I'm afraid that's probably going to be it for me. But I will check my ranking. Just to see how I fare globally. With this fun little team. Hopefully we get top 1,000. There we go. I don't think I can top that. Honestly. I think with a team like this, with a Ghost Dark type only, I think having this kind of record is actually quite incredible. Certainly going to share that around a little bit. But yes. I think this is going to be it for my little Pokemon series. Honestly, I think we've hit the peak right here. Finally got to showcase the Marowak and its strengths. Very powerful. Yes, I believe we've reached the end of the stream. Oh, is Steve out now? Steve-O. Has Steve actually been released? Unfortunate timing on your end. Ah, might have to go and check that out afterwards then. I think I might have him. So I've got an appointment with Steve to check out. Alright. We've certainly had some eventful games. You'll have to find them in my highlights. Well, suppose I'll be seeing you all very soon then, won't I? Sleep well. Watch your back. You never know who's around the corner. Good night.